What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Those of you stopping by for the first time, if you see something you like here today, don't forget to subscribe before the video is over. Those of you stopping by that have been here before, welcome back to TLTG Reviews, my friends. Glad you came to see me. So it's that time of the week. It's my weekly rotation. It's week number 20. Stay tuned. So jumping right off into Sunday was one that haven't really worn a whole lot lately, and it's a quintessential spring cheapie in my opinion. I love wearing this one. It's very green, smelling just like the green juice. It's from Guess. It's Guess Man. A little bit of a dent in there. So odd looking bottle, makes a big G for Guess. And I gotta say, it's extremely synthetic, but I love the way this one smells. You can find them at Ross Dress for Less all the time for $15, $12 to $15, I believe. I'm gonna say 15 for this 50 ml. That was where I got mine a while back. I love the way this one smells. So much so that when I got out the shower that Sunday night, I wore this again. It was an all-day love affair with Guess Man, because this stuff just smells great to me. I smell it floating in the air right now. It's very, very green. It's very citrus, very herbal. The fir balsam and fir resins in this really pop. Like I said, it's a very strong green tinge. The coloration of the juice is very fitting for this one. So on Sunday, all day long, was Guess Man. Moving into Monday, one that I finally finished my sample up, so it was time to bust out the bottle and start spraying it. Very sharp blood orange, very creamy sandalwood, solid performer. It's Homme Sport 2017. So absolutely love the way this one smells. Very fresh, very clean, very sporty, as the name would suggest. This is a very good underrated juice. The reason I say underrated, because not a whole lot of people really talk about it. It's in a lot of people's collections. Doesn't really make a lot of lists, doesn't really get featured much, but a lot of people have it and wear it. Kind of strange that it doesn't really come up more. I love the Homme Sport line for them being non-iris based fragrances, aside from the 2012 formula, but the 2008 and the 2017, I think they're fantastic fragrances. I love them. I like this much more than I like the 2020 non-iris super ISO E super formulation of the new Dior Homme. I like this much better. If you want a non-iris Dior Homme, in my opinion, Dior Homme Sport's the way to go. And then later that night, once I got out the shower, my favorite out the shower fragrance, it's Nautica Classic. That dent's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Do need to get another bottle here in the near future. I mean, I still got quite a bit of wear left. That's sub 50 ml. I would say I got about 40 ml left in here, roughly about 1.3 ounces. It's good stuff. Very aquatic. Very, very, very cheap. You can get these in that $10 range all over online from discounters. It's one that I swear by. It's Nautica Classic. Moving into Tuesday, I actually did a shaving video. I'll link that right here if you want to check that out, on the new Superman shave soap from Gentleman's Nod and Zaharoff. I actually covered the aftershave lotion, the grooming oil, covered a few products, and to cap it off, I went 2 sprays on my chest of Zaharoff Signature Pour Homme, because you can't use all kinds of Zaharoff men's products and not cap everything off with the fragrance itself. I use the solid and everything, boys. Never ceases to wow me every time I spray it and smell it. It's such a good fragrance, guys. I've talked about it to death. I mean, my poster's right there. You know how much I love this fragrance. You know how much I feel about this fragrance. Tuesday, it was a Zaharoff Signature Pour Homme. And then when I got out of the shower that evening, because I did take another shower later that evening, the shave video was earlier in the day, was Nautica in 83. A very minty take on the Nautica Voyage DNA. And very fruity as well. I love the way this one smells. There's another one that's very underrated. You know, every week I'm going to have some Nautica fragrances as my out the shower fragrances, because that's what I like to use them for. Aside from the original Voyage, that is the one that I like to wear out and about. And this one occasionally, but mainly the original Voyage I wear out and about. But out the shower, that night was Nautica Voyage N83. Moving on into Wednesday. So I did my first impressions on this. I'll link that video right here as well if you want to check that out, as well as Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Parfum. Decided to bust this out as my scent of the day. I do plan on doing a full review. It's from Valentino, Uomo Aqua. Very, very fresh, very floral. The iris is so well done in this one for it being such a fresh spring and summer fragrance. Very faint on the performance, not a strong sillage, but the scent quality, they knocked it out of the park with this one. Sadly, it's discontinued from what I understand, as is most of the Uomo line outside of Born in Roma. But it's a really, really good fragrance that not a whole lot of people talk about because it has such crappy performance. I get it. I understand. Anywhere from 3 to 5 hours depending on your skin chemistry and your situation and setting. But for me, it smells good enough to where I'm going to get plenty of use out of it. And it was no different on Wednesday. It was Valentino Uomo Aqua. And then later that evening, one I haven't wore in quite a while. These were going around at Marshall's pretty heavily last year. You'll see the price tag right there. This is one of those not in the box, just sitting out there fragrances. Beauty of Nature. This is Amber Woods. Very sandalwood heavy and has a vanilla smell to it. Supposedly an eau de parfum concentration. And I gotta say, it does have a pretty solid sillage. It was projecting pretty good for a good hour and a half or so, 2 hours. I could still smell myself after I sprayed it pretty heavily. Underrated. Nobody talks about it. I don't even know where you can find them outside of that stint they had it in the rack stores. But for, $13 for this 100 ml. It's not the most complex note breakdown, and it's very unisex. It could go either way. But it smells great to me. The only notes I know of, see right there, it says amber and sandalwood, but whether it's the combination or there's vanilla actually in the fragrance, it gives off a vanilla smell, and it's very pleasant. Out the shower, after you're about to go to bed if you're looking to wind down. If you can find it, it's not bad for 13 bucks. Beauty of Nature, Amber Woods. Moving on into Thursday. This was actually #1 on my cheapie list for spring. I spray it heavy. The color's wrong. It should be John Varvatos Artisan Green in my opinion, but it was John Varvatos Artisan Blue. Very, very, very green fragrance. Very weak performer. After about 30 minutes, the projection is pretty much gone. It's very close to skin, and it's maybe a 4-hour fragrance at best. But the smell is, in my opinion anyways, the smell is incredible on this one. I love this one. This is my favorite spring fragrance, regardless of price. Cheapy designer or niche or otherwise. This is some good stuff. It's cheap and it's worth it. You can get these big 4.2 ounce bottles in that sub $30 range from discounters online. 75 ml, low 20s all day long. Discounters and rack stores. This is a great fragrance. If you can get past the performance and just look at this as what it is, a bright, fresh, herbal, refreshing type of fragrance to just spray and go. John Varvatos Artisan Blue. Don't overlook it. If you can get over the performance, it's a good one to pick for sure. And then out the shower that night's another one I haven't worn in a while. It's different. Is it the best smelling aquatic fragrance I have? No. Does it kind of lend itself to be relatively unique for what it is versus the other fragrance I have of its genre? Yeah, it does. Kindred Goods, Marine Water and Driftwood. You can see the little bit of dent I started to put in that. This one, another one. Says eau de parfum. I don't believe them. Spray it very, very heavy. But it smells exactly as advertised. Marine water. It's got a saltwater quality. It's a little woody. Driftwood. Good for out the shower. Doesn't perform that well. Did get it on clearance. They're normally $12 at Old Navy. I want to say I did get it for like $5 or $6 or $4, something like that on clearance. It had a little red tag a while back, sometime last year. And one that I haven't really seen it because I got a lot of my stuff boxed up, so I don't just have them everywhere. And I came across it and said, hey, why not? I'm gonna wear that tonight. So out the shower, really enjoyed wearing Kindred Goods, Marine Water and Driftwood. Moving into Friday, it was another very cheap, good smelling fragrance. Performance is terrible, but it smells pretty much just like a cheaper Spice Bomb, which is pretty much what it is. Beverly Hills Polo Club Blaze. That's right, I busted out Blaze. This is the eau de toilette, not the body spray. and big wide spray. I love the way this one smells. In my opinion, this is the best offering from Beverly Hills Polo Club. You can get these cheap all the time. 50 ml like this. I believe it's a 50 ml. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a 50. Yeah, it's a 50 ml. You can get these for 12 bucks, 10 bucks, something like that at the rack stores. They're always out at the rack stores. This is the best one to get. If you're looking for a very, very cheap, just spray and go, keep it in the gym bag, whatever. If you like spicy fragrances, something that's a Spice Bomb clone, Beverly Hills Polo Club is the way to go. I do have a little 15 ml as well that came in part of a little, you know, sampler, little 3-pack that I had bought a while back. And after smelling, because everybody kept telling me, if you like Spice Bomb, try Blaze. Tried that. Next time I saw a bigger bottle, I bought a bigger bottle. So, Friday, Beverly Hills Polo Club, Blaze. And then later that night when I got out the shower, lavender can be very relaxing. It can lift your spirits. It can change your mood. That's why it's in so many bath products. And when it comes to a fragrance out the shower, lavender is usually a pretty good choice. And I was in the mood for it. Lavender and sandalwood is basically what it amounts to. It's very soapy, very aromatic. English Laundry signature. You see the dent that's starting to go in that one. I do have a backup bottle of it as well. Have some shower gels. Very, very soapy. I've heard some say it has an industrial cleaner type of smell, or compare it to Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male. Yeah, kind of inspired by that. I understand all those different things, but to me, it's just something that's really relaxing. If you need some lavender in your life, this one's very dominant on it. This is basically a lavender fragrance through and through with a little bit of sandalwood is what I get from it. You can always get them cheap every time you can find them, and you can't go wrong out the shower with something like this. And that was English Laundry signature. Then last but most certainly not least was Saturday. So Saturday, I busted this one out because it's been a little while. And I'll tell you what, it's been a while since I wore the Eau de Toilette. It's the first time I've worn it since I got it. Got another bottle of it. Because for the longest time I just had the mild deodorant spray. I'm talking about Zaharoff Cool Water. Okay, the original. I forgot how well this thing performed on my skin. It actually projected in the moderate range for a good while. I would say in that hour-and-a-half range. Hour solid for sure, arm's length. Wife could smell me pretty easily. And then as the day went on, I mean, we're talking even 6-7 hours in, I could still smell myself pretty easily, and I'd walk by her and she, you know, if I'd get close, she could still smell me. So it's really underrated in the performance aspect. Is it great? No, absolutely not. Will it surprise you for being such an old, heavily reformulated, cheap aquatic? Yeah, it definitely will. And this is one that it's been so long since I wore the Eau de Toilette, it surprised me for sure. And it's just a classic. You can never go wrong. Once you spray it on, in my case anyways, it was falling in love with it all over again. That was Zaharoff Cool Water, the Eau de Toilette. Fallen in love with it so much so that when I got out the shower that night, that same mild deodorant spray I was talking about was what I sprayed on out the shower. You see the dent in that one. Same scent, lighter smell. Lighter performance too. Perfect out the shower, really and truly. So on Saturday, it was a double up of Cool Water. So until next time, guys, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Do appreciate all the feedback. I love hearing from you guys. What all did you wear this week? Mine was kind of a mix-up, and a little bit of this, a little bit of that, some cheap stuff, some mid-level stuff, and some high-end stuff, a little bit of everything. Kind of a free-for-all week, which I have a feeling will be a similar result for the upcoming week for week 21. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of these and you give them a spray now, it's a really good chance you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.